Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 Driver Career Mode with Alpha Tauri, episode number 27 today for the Spanish Grand Prix of Season 2, round number 5. If you missed the previous episode loaded last week at Imola, I recommend you go and check that out. Of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel to see plenty more Driver Career Mode videos. But R&D wise, major ERS upgrades, that failed. Fortunately, due to the fact that we took out Miami, that is going on for Spain regardless. Looking at minor drag reduction, but with R&D, the DRS isn't an issue. I think what we need to focus on is rear downforce. There's a couple of upgrades there. There's about 4 upgrades there we can do. And closing in there back on Mercedes as well. McLaren jumped back in front of Mercedes. Ferrari have jumped Alpine, as well as Red Bull continue their form. Obviously, it's Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc at the top of the championship, but can Ferrari haven't really looked solid in any of the races so far take the fight to both of them? We'll have to wait and see as well. Slightly concerning on the durability front, we're starting some of the second components already. I guess for the gearbox it's not so much, only a 16 race season, but for the ICE, the MGUK and the MGUH, we will need to potentially look at taking new parts for those. I'm going to try and manage it, to be honest. If we have a terrible qualifying and we're down at the back, then of course we will take those extra parts when we need them.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
Once again, another failure coming to qualifying. I don't know if anyone else is having this amount of failures in their career. Let me know in the comments below if you are, as well as we pop through into this long right-hander. Slightly up, we've dropped to P13, so not great to be honest. There's definitely a thing we can do, but we've gone purple first sector. That's where I've been finding the time though, against the AR. I've got a setup that seems to be very good in a straight line and not so great for the middle sector, as well. As dropped to 50th now as people start to improve. You see we're 2/10 up on our previous best time, which is good. We want to improve on that through into the last sector as well. Surely going to be up on Albon, half a second up on Albon's time, but you know the Williams is a slower car than us, so that is expected as Lando Norris goes fastest of all. Whether or not the McLaren has the pace to do well. 4/10 up now as we're following the Ferrari through the final section. 6/10 up, a great exit there, out the final corner, up to the line, and I think that is P7, and it is a very beautiful lap there, composed, only 3/10 off pole. I don't know how I've pulled that out the bag, because we were like P11, P12, around where Gasly was. So we've managed to, but that's how close the grid is this season. 1.3 seconds separating the entire grid from themselves. Gasly P11, you'll look to move forwards, but Lando Norris is on pole from Leclerc, Ricciardo, Verstappen only P4. Time for the race. Today's Spanish Grand Prix.
Welcome then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix, a race which saw Max Verstappen take victory on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016 after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? The circuit of Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It also consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Phoenix, Hamilton, Russell and Sebastian Vettel, Gasly, Albon, Yuki Tsunoda and Magnussen, Stroll, Latifi, Valtteri Bottas and Robert Schwartzman, Joe and Mick Schumacher. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Natalie Pinkham joins me once again in the commentary box. It's fantastic to have you with us today. I'm curious though, how do you think the drivers stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn one, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It'll keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
I think we can. P7 on the grid. Race strategy is going to be one stop from soft to mediums. Mediums to hard is still slightly slower as well. We need a good run to the line to the first corner as well. So 5 red lights in the Spanish Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's a better start than the Alpine. Then we're going to instantly switch the inside to cover off Hamilton. There's front wings flying behind. I don't know if that was Vettel as well. Trying to go around the outside of Perez. He was very slow. He hasn't had the greatest of seasons as it's Norris from Leclerc at the front, but Hamilton having to go at us. This is a replay though, and yeah, Vettel clipping the rear end of Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari. Hasn't been a good season for the 4-time world champion. Here's a replay on board with the nose cone. You can just see here he has better launch than Hamilton, but just doesn't get out of the way. A bit stupid really there as well. And then he tries to dive me. We've now got Hamilton on the back of us. Hamilton hasn't had the greatest of seasons at the starts either, as got sights against Perez. You know, both of them are all fighting as well. Ricciardo is the outlier in the top 5, in the top 6, I reckon, because all the others have pretty much done well, good races. We've been watching on board with Lewis Hamilton all over the back of me. Gets the steps out and then tries to take a weird line into that corner. I really don't get what he was doing there. We're going to have a little go at Vettel. Sorry, not Vettel's sights, it's Vettel's pit rather. But nothing doing there. The Spaniard has, overall, he should be able to outpace me. As it is indeed Lando Norris then who leads the way for McLaren. Can he get his first race win? I think he won a race in season 1. I can't quite remember if he did or not. Ahead of the reigning world champion Charles Leclerc in the Red Bull. While Max Verstappen is up to P3, so he's jumped Ricciardo off the start. But you wonder whether or not the Alpine has technology where Verstappen will be able to drag that Alpine to a world championship. We'll have to wait and see. But for us, as we take out the bollard on the pit entry, we're coming in for our stop at the end of lap number 7, because this is Spain and basically nothing happened. This is actually a tough track. 0.1 on the turn as well, so yes, 2.4 second stops. That's very good. As we're coming out in, well, P14. I think everyone else has gone through as well. So as moving forwards, we don't have the pace, but we do have the pace to defend in a straight line from Sir Lewis Hamilton, because the Mercedes isn't a very good car. Unfortunately for us, we've been jumped by George Russell, and you know, we're going to try and get him back though with a bit of DRS. We have the straight line speed advantage, so I'm looking forward to Baku, because it's clear that that's going to be a track the Mercedes are going to struggle, and we should be able to get both cars ahead of them. Gasly as well, to be fair, has done well, considering the fact he was stuck in a train, and I think he was also behind Magnussen. There's Hamilton! Has dived at the inside there, as he's tried to seek, obviously, a little bit of revenge for the last week's episode at Imola, as well. He decided to send that, and there was a bit of contact. Not as much as in the sprint last week, but now it's not really an overtaking corner. Let me know what you think. It's a bit of a 50-50, but that really ruined my chance of really sending it to Russell, because once I fell out of DRS, Russell just walked away and was actually very close to Perez in the end. So that shows that, you know, Mercedes do actually have some pace. They just need the consistency. Gasly, you know, he's done well, because in fact Vettel was about 4 seconds a lap slow on the first lap, holding everyone up. And as we come around the final corner then, it's P8 today. Not a great race, definitely not an exciting race, I will tell you that now, but that is Spain for you. As well, you know, it's more points on the board, which is exactly what we need for a potential jump to Red Bull next season. We'll have to wait and see, especially the fact Perez isn't doing that great in the Red Bull. Norris sadly lost out at the pit stops, and you know, Leclerc had the fastest lap in the end, as well as Vettel had to 2-stop in the end. That seems to be what the AI do on this year's game in a 25% race, unlike on the previous year's games where they were able to 1-stop even by pitting on lap 1 or 2. In terms of the drivers, still P6, but Hamilton, Russell and Ricciardo have both gained on me, as well. Gasly getting some more points as well, but Leclerc winning again, 31 points clear now at the top, and Red Bull are 68 points clear, with 3 points in front of Mercedes. But if we keep upgrading, then there's a big chance that we can catch them up. As I say, Gasly's now scored in 4 of the 5 races. Not quite as highly as me. Yes, I will point out that there were some, let's just say, inconsistencies with the AI that led to a 3rd place finish at Saudi Arabia. It's around the 5th place and 6th place. But the more recent results, you know, were 7th and 8th. Probably whereabouts. Monaco, that episode will be out on Friday. I think we're going to struggle there. But Verstappen, you know, after winning the last 2 races, is all of a sudden is lost. He can only finish 3rd, not even beat Lando Norris. He's back on the podium after 2 podiums, 2 2nd places to open the season. I feel like that Sainz could be a dark horse. Leclerc, remember, of course, slipped up early last season. There's plenty of chances for that Red Bull to go to circuits that it's not very good at and underperform. And Leclerc very much underperformed at Australia and Imola. So there's plenty more tracks like that where Leclerc can underperform and have a horror show, and all of a sudden, you know, the championship's back wide open as well. So yes, that's an joyful episode. Will be out on Friday, and then next week we'll look forward to Azerbaijan and Canada, especially with the straight line speed that we had today. Means that it's promising for Baku, that we're going to be able to do well. I'm hopefully going to target a top 6. Could we get a top 6 finish? I don't know. Mercedes probably going to be slow. Ricciardo, it depends on Ricciardo's form, because, you know, he's been very inconsistent in this career mode, like his real life self. Depends what Gasly can do as well. Gasly has been quick at times as well. You know, keeping me on my toes, especially in some of the qualifying sessions as well. So all of that is to come in the episodes to follow. But if you haven't then enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F1 22 drive camera videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.